Hello everyone, welcome again to our academy. We are going to continue our course How to Think Logically, and we are going to talk about applications on understanding and definitions. Thinking includes understanding and judgment. Understanding needs definition, judgment needs evidence. Both of them are made of matter and form. The matter that can be used in a definition includes essential concepts and accidental concepts. The form in which this matter is arranged, or these concepts are arranged, is starting from the general to the special, or from the general to the specific. For example, when we try to understand or define what a human being is, it's easier to start with broad, general, wide concepts and terms like it's a body. These terms are very wide, very broad, very general, and very clear. Then we use a more specific term. It's a growing one. Then a more specific term. It's a sensitive one, and it's moving by its own will. At last, we use the most specific term or concept, rational. So to understand something well, we start by the most general, wide, common terms or concepts, as they are very clear. Then we use more specific one. Then we move towards the more specific ones. A limiting definition is a definition which seeks reality and uses essentials. A descriptive definition is a definition which seeks discrimination and uses accidentals. Now let's have some applications on understanding and definitions. What is friendship? How do you understand friendship? What is the definition of friendship? Someone may define it as it's the relationship in which both sides never complains about each other if someone is hurting the other side. Or it's a relationship in which you are always helping the other side, even if you can't help anyone, even including yourself. Or it is a relationship in which there is no arguments or differences. All these definitions are wrong. Friendship is a relationship between human beings based on common understanding, common beliefs, and common practices. Another important application of understanding and definitions is problem solving. There is a story about a neighborhood in which a hole appeared in the road. People began to fall in the hole and breaking their bones. The people of this neighborhood gathered together and tried to solve the problem. In solving problems, we start by defining the problem we are facing. So they tried to define their problem. They said the problem we are facing is people getting injured. So the solution is building a hospital. Later on, cars began to crash into the hole. So they gathered again and came up with a new definition. The problem is cars are being crashed. These definitions use accidentals. So we can't really solve the problem. We can't deal with the reality of the problem. We need a definition with essentials, which expresses the reality of the problem. The true problem is there is a hole in the street. So the solution is repairing the road. So it's important in problem solving to understand the problem well. Not defining it with accidentals, but defining it with essentials. What is the definition of marriage? Some people define marriage as a social relationship. So they are caged and present in the social standards. Some define it as a material relationship. So they try to gather as material stuff as they can, as a relationship between two bodies. Some define it as a romantic relationship. These definitions may use essentials, but they are incomplete. Marriage is the legal, social relationship between a man and a woman. Both man and a woman are human beings, so both of them have bodies, souls, emotions, spirits, minds, and so on. So marriage includes all these types of relationships. What is happiness? What is the definition of happiness? Someone may define happiness as laughing for a while, but you may laugh and you are very sad deep inside. Some may define happiness as enjoying a good taste, smell, and so on. But you may have a great meal while you are very sad inside. Happiness is more lasting than temporary emotions. Happiness is more deep than superficial laughing or superficial taste or smell and so on. Happiness is a lasting joy of our souls, minds, and this joy can be achieved by proper thinking, right thoughts, right beliefs, good actions, good morals, good ethics, and so on. So the first definitions were wrong. What is growing up a child? Some may define growing up a child as playing with him or her, blaming him or her, punishing him or her, or being a friend with him or her. In growing up a child, you may use some of these things, except physical punishment, of course. But these definitions use accidentals. The true reality of growing up a child or a human being is making him or her better, helping him or her to reach his or her best. What is religion? Some people may define religion as some actions of the body. Some may define it as some beliefs, and some may define it as some actions of the soul. These definitions may use essentials, but they are incomplete. A religion is a group of thoughts and laws of our actions. These actions include actions of the body and the actions of the soul. What's home? Someone may define home as the place where our bodies settle. Someone may define it as a place where our emotions settle, the place our beloved ones exist. Someone may define it as a place where our souls and minds settle, the place of right and justice. All these definitions are right, but they define different things. The first definition defines the material home. The second one defines the emotional home. The third one defines the intellectual or the spiritual home. So here there is some sort of ambiguity. This means defining different concepts. This means that a single word like home may reflect different concepts. So it's important when we define something to make sure that we use proper words and to make sure that we are defining the exact same thing. So we are now able to recognize some fallacies of understanding. The first one is the fallacy of ambiguity, like calling a spade a spade. The second one is using wrong definition. The third one is using accidentals as if they are essentials. The fourth one is using incomplete definitions as if they are complete. The last one is using emotional words. You may ask someone, what is heritage? He answers you, it's to return to live in a cave. Here he is using emotional words to make you dislike your heritage. In fact, he is not trying to use intellectual words or to talk to your mind. He's trying to manipulate you emotionally. So, these are the fallacies of understanding. So let's remember that thinking includes understanding and judgment. The first one requires a definition, the second one requires an evidence. Both of them need matter and form. The matter used in definitions include essentials and accidentals. The form is to start by the general concepts and move towards the special and specific ones. A limiting definition seeks for reality and uses essentials. A descriptive definition seeks for discrimination only and uses accidentals. Thank you.